Hi, good morning. I'd like to welcome you to Poem Praise 2. We are going to get back into the Black Woman's Guide to Understanding the Black Man. And peace be upon you and your family this day. We are now in Chapter 2, Take 6, and it goes like this. Their presence drew the attention of the black man, and intellectual sexual involvements milked much of their energy and reduced their anger at all whites considerably. His expanding ideals incorporated his wardrobe too. In the grassroots units, they began to wear African symbols while others adopted the absurd flair of Superfly. Popularized fictional black pimp. They sported the afro hairstyle, a kind of rounded bouffant look, and danced to good music in a flurry of new nightclubs and social spots. The excitement was kept aflame with new words like honky and pigs, echoing from the parched throats of black men. Other words contain demands for freedom and justice and equality. He also beckoned for recognition, integration, and acceptance. He did not know the difference between those two sets of requests were as opposite as night and day. Black men were creating their own stimuli to help them throw off the yoke of racism and self-incrimination they had slept with for over 100 years. The revolutionary mobs roaming the streets, inciting spontaneous ghetto rebellions, rewarded him with TV sets, stereos, couches, lamps, and other items captured by vandalizing local merchant businesses, all of which were blamed on racism. President John F. Kennedy sent the first troops to Vietnam, which turned out to be a bottomless pit, demanding thousands of recruits shipped daily to feed its fury. The anti-war protest was staged mostly by college-age white males who didn't want to fight. Black men hungrily bit into the new ideals and swallowed models and tidbits of principles and attitudes taken from several sources existing as new options. The uninterrupted ability to make these choices created in him a sort of cultural shock. He was emotionally set free, not psychologically, but emotionally. He was free to feel any kind of reaction about a variety of standards and responsibilities. Plus, he could act on his choices, and he could endorse and or abstain on any situation he encountered. Many European establishments let him in, and it was likened to being turned loose in Disney World. The wonders of the integrated society was ceased. Let me repeat that. The wonders of the integrated society never ceased. He dove in, and his woman and children followed. Few of them realized that the decisions they were on the brink of making would stifle their development and process for untold years to follow. He chose to carve himself out a new identity, one forged out of the new freedoms the white people were experimenting with, and one based on the expected benefits the civil rights leaders had promised would be forthcoming. From that moment and at every juncture since, he established no national agendas or formats to evolve the masses of blacks in united progress. He virtually regressed and reacted as his ancestors did during a big slavery breakout. The slaves scattered in all different directions to become absorbed into existing lifestyles and blend in with the scenery. So they all went in different directions to pursue disconnected, unrelated self-survival goals. No thoughts or plans were given to the future, and they were woozy with the hallucinations created by the slight improvements generated by the civil rights movement, and believed that many of their grievances were settled in the process of being settled or would fade away in due time. Based on this kind of faulty, pie in the sky, promised land misinterpretation, the black man selected one of the following paths. I have 10 for them, 10 for you. And it goes like this. Number 1, went to college or trade school and pursued education. 2, joined the civil rights industry. 3, signed up for the military, went to Vietnam or traveled. 4, accepted a position to work inside the system. 5, became an outspoken political leader of the times. 6, aligned himself with one of the popular ethnic organizations. 7, became an artist, poet, actor, or entertainer. 8, got high, dropped out completely, or turned to crime. 9, developed a lifestyle firmly rooted in the imagery benefits of social integration. 10, built a life based on the rules, traditions, and values of European culture, and became an ordinary Joe, an unconcerned Negroid. The results of these choices are as follows. 1, pursuit of education. Black men who chose educational pursuit or entrepreneurship have fared moderately well. They prepared themselves to qualify to apply for better paying jobs which provided them with hospitalization, life insurance, retirement plans, and a routine work schedule of paychecks. Others formed their own business and laid the foundation for the development of hair products, publications, funeral homes, insurance agencies, and law and medical professions. They became examples of achievement, overcame barriers, and delved deeply into qualifying themselves to be, at that time, what was known as a credit to his race. Still others worked in professional capacities of white-owned firms and delivered to them the finest ideas and creativity that the black mind could conceive. They established a system of class distinction among other blacks, a separation based on high earnings called the upper class or the well-to-do families. They felt completely removed from the problems and concerns of the less qualified blacks they left behind. Many of them are quite surprised today to learn so much time has passed and they have so little to show for it. Because of their imitation of success, according to the European prerequisites, they alienated themselves and lost their identity on another level. They started to believe that they were just a person and equal to any other person, no matter what color. They took up tennis, skiing, boating, bridge, and private social clubs. 2, join the civil rights industry. Now these black men soared high in the public eye for quite a while. They were portrayed as charging warriors working on the front line for desegregation of public facilities, sexual integration, and social reform. They received many spotlights for their involvements and were happy to prove their bravery during protests and took pride in announcing their arrest. They were fiercely speakers, well, fiery speakers, available spokespersons, and delighted in outlining political strategies to reach their goals. They played on the emotionalism of the people, white and black, and believed that if blacks were permitted to infiltrate white-owned businesses, industry, education, and neighborhoods, that they would prove themselves qualified to function on every other level. They thought that the removal of the above barriers and unencumbered entrance into the gateways of white America life would allow blacks to be accepted as equals. They sought employment and personal involvement with whites and agreed that voting rights were the major key to blacks' future security in the USA. Today, black men who fostered these ideals as a platform to become a national leader are few in number. Many have disappeared due to death, burnout, ego damage brought on by rejection, or their eventual failure to convince whites. Either though the courts of our fever field dialogue that blacks deserve special attention and favors. They aligned themselves with President John Kennedy and his brother Bobby, but soon their scripts ran out. Public attention waned and their presence became unwelcome. Many went out to organize national agencies founded on loosely related principles of the civil rights movement, and these too ultimately faded from powerlessness and their inability to re-inspire the desperate displays of emotion required to maintain their platforms. They are rarely even mentioned anymore. One or two remain as representative of the entire group. They too are disappointed. They grew few permanent fruits from their labor. I'm going to repeat that. That was a nice line. They grew few permanent fruits from their labor. The benefits they pleaded for are today found to be lacking in helping blacks attain food, clothing, and shelter. But they did make it possible for blacks to spend their money in any white-owned establishment they pleased. And I'm going to wrap it up right there for take number 6. I'm going to give you a preview of the next point that we are going to go into is number 3. Joined the military. So I hope that you were blessed by take number 6. Certainly some reading a book. If you like, go ahead and get your copy, and we can follow right along together so that we can certainly get some education up in the dome in regards to the chess game we playing. Not checkers and you just make one move and then it's done. I got your man. No, this is a strategy. We need to have some information in regards to the pawns. You move them. Okay, what you going to do for protection in regards to protecting the king and the queen? Okay? All right? So, I will talk with you later. Certainly, if you like, hit the like button, share, subscribe, and stay tuned to Poem Praise 2 for take number 7. We're on chapter 2, Identity. Identity. All right. Later, y'all.